Hey, do you want to know the truth about Sundown Towns? It's much deeper and darker than most people realize, and quite honestly, it could make some people uncomfortable. But let's go for it, because I'm not here to make anybody comfortable. I'm here to tell the truth to the people who were never given it. So, the so called black people in this country, most of them were not immigrants, they weren't brought here from somewhere else. They were indigenous people of the land, the original families who lived here long before the settler came in and renamed everything, rewrote everything, and tried to erase them. Sundown towns, they are one of the clearest examples of that. So imagine your ancestors lived on a piece of land for generations. They hunted there, farmed there, they had families and lived life there. They even buried their loved ones there. They built communities long before the word town even existed. And then enters the colonizer, and everything changed. They take the land, they build over it, they rename it, they claim it. And then after stealing your home, they tell you that you're the one who doesn't belong. It wasn't segregation or tension. That was territorial theft followed by racial exclusion. Sundown towns weren't just anti-black, they were pro-white zones, created to keep white control over land that was never theirs. And they didn't just want you gone after dark. Many wanted you gone permanently. These towns posted signs that basically said, "Don't let the sun set on you here." But the people that they were threatening were often the direct descendants of the original indigenous people of this land. The original indigenous nations. Dark-skinned indigenous families who had already been reclassified, colored, Negro, or mulatto, just to hide who they truly were. Places like Anna, Illinois, Vidor, Texas, Forsyth County, Georgia, pardon me, and thousands more across America. These weren't small, isolated incidents. By the 1900s, the U.S. was covered in towns where white settlers had pushed out indigenous people, stole their homes, burned their communities, and then made rules banning those same families from returning to their home. And people wonder why the census changed people's races. Because if the truth stayed intact, that the people they were excluding were actually the original inhabitants of the land, the entire system would collapse. Sundown towns were not just about racism. They were about stealing lands, erasing the indigenous identity, and claiming a place as only white when it was never white to begin with. And one of the hardest things for me to still accept is that some of these places still carry that energy today. The signs may be gone, but the message is still there. It's there in the way they police, the way they stare, and the way they discriminate. They still have that "you don't belong here" attitude that so many black indigenous people still feel. So let's call it what it was, and what it still is. A system built to keep the descendants of the original people off their land their ancestors once walked freely on. This is the truth they never wanted to teach you. This is the truth that they didn't put in history books. And the ones that they did put it in, those are the books that have been banned. But this is where the truth is being brought back. Because you can't erase land, and you can't erase the people who are the land. The more you know.
Looks like you forgot, once again, how powerful you are.